Hello, this is Sergeant Ceballos with the Hawaii Army National Guard. Now, when you look at my uniform, it looks like the Army uniform. It says United States Army and then my name. The difference about the Guard is I'm going to first of all tell you, kind of break it down as to how the Army is composed. The Army actually has three components, the Department of the Army that is, and it's broken down into the Active Duty Army, the Army Reserve, and the National Guard. The role of the active duty is they're the full-time guys, the guys that soldier every single day, and they are what's considered a federal responsibility, which is under the direct responsibility of the Commander-in-Chief, which is the President of the United States. And their primary purpose is to respond to any threats abroad, overseas, to protect the United States. And so if anything happens, then they're called to respond to those types of things. Second, you have the Army Reserve. If a force structure that is called upon doesn't have all the resources or the personnel that it requires, the reserve works as what's called a backfill to fill in those gaps and to support the operations that the active duty is performing, which also falls under the direction of the Commander-in-Chief, which is the President of the United States. Then you have the National Guard. What's unique about the National Guard is that it has a dual responsibility. Every single state and territory in the United States has a National Guard. And the primary role of the National Guard is to respond to any state emergencies. You may be seeing on the news, specifically in tornado-torn areas in the Midwest, or flooding in the Mississippi area, and also fires in places like California and Texas, where the National Guard is responding to these types of emergencies. So in time of need on the home front, the Guard is called upon. The other responsibility of the National Guard is to serve as a reserve force backfill for the active duty as well. As I mentioned, primarily we respond to our Commander-in-Chief being the state governor who utilizes us in time of need and in local emergencies and at the home front. But we can also be called to support the active duty and the reserves. So we have that dual responsibility. And that's what sets us apart from the other services. The uniforms, exactly the same. The training is exactly the same. The requirements to join the National Guard, we fall under the same regulation that the reserves and the active duty. And that regulation is Army Regulation 601-20. And you can look that online on Google if you want to know more about the prerequisites to joining. But more than anything, contact a recruiter and ask them specifically, because those things do change from time to time, and they would be your best resource to ask those questions. If you're interested in learning more about the Hawaii Army National Guard and our programs, you can reach me. My name is Sergeant First Class Ceballos, and my number is 808-864-9627. Thank you for watching, and have a great day. All right.